In a magical world beautiful, Coco lives with her mother selling fabrics. But her dream is to be a witch and spread the joy. That is the magic. But something terrible happens in her life and now she has to act. If you got curious, stay with me until the end and let's go to the video. Athletes are athletes when being born? Singers and astronauts too? Of course not. And what about the witches? Coco goes to a lake clean dirty clothes, what prevents the little Bambi from drinking the water. But soon she finishes and goes away and the lake is magical so it self-purifies. The magic in this universe is in every corner, a miracle convenient and indispensable. But Coco does not know how it works. Only witches know of its process and can use magic. Common humans only receive through a blessing. And people like Coco cannot be witches, but she dreams with this every day and even plays with her sheets being flying carpets. Then a winged carriage arrives at her door. Coco goes to her mother and finds a witch who is a client. The clients are the passengers of the winged carriage that are looking for fabrics, and the witch that wants a fabric color of smoke. Coco works taking the measurements, so she goes help the witch client, and the girl is good in the service, has hands stable and precise. I never would be able to do this type of manual work. The witch gets surprised with the concentration and precision of the cuts and finishes and says that this indeed is magic. But Coco does not agree. Magic is sacred and beautiful, much better than anything. The witch asks the why of this fascination for magic. Coco tells that when was smaller, her mother took her to a fair in the castle and there had a masked witch. By chance, she was following a different butterfly and found the witch. He offered to sell an illustrated book of magic. Coco did not know what was magic, so the witch showed it to her and the girl got enchanted. Then Coco bought an illustrated book of magic and got a wand as gift. After this, she told to her mother that wanted to become a witch, but she said that it is impossible for common people. It is necessary to possess magical powers since it was born to use magic. With the time passing, this turned nothing more than a distant dream for Coco. The witch wants to know more about this book and the witch, but then happens a big noise, and it is the carriage that broke in the part of the back because of some troublesome children. The witch offers help and goes fix with magic. His name is Kifri, and he will use the workshop of the fabric shop. He asked Coco that watch so that nobody spied his work. After some little things, some kids trying to spy, and Coco going in the flow, she finally sees the magic being made. Kifri draws symbols on the giant wheel, and with this the magic is made, so that Coco deduces that her wand of child is not a real wand, must be a pen. The problem was solved, and the witch Kifri also went away. Coco's mother is happy that her daughter did not ask to go with the witch to learn magic, because without her she would not know what to do. After all, Coco's father got sick and died some time ago. At night, at the time of sleep, Coco takes her wand pen, opens the illustrated book of magic and starts to draw the symbols there present. She draws a lot of symbols until that in one of them manages to do magic. Coco gets super happy and jumps to every corner. After in the forest, Kifri is thinking in what Coco said about the book. Something him leaves worried, and then he remembers of something concerning. Coco even makes fire magic and begins to understand the drawings. So to improve, puts a paper over the book to copy the drawing. She finishes the drawing, but Kifri grabs her from behind and leaves the house flying. The magic that Coco drew begins to transform the house into crystal, and Coco's mother is caught and is petrified. This is forbidden magic, evil magic. Coco wants to save her mother, but cannot get close. Coco asks forgiveness for this, but Kifri does not blame her. She did not know of anything. For this, the witches hide their art. A special ink, predetermined glyphs. With this in hands, any person can use magic. This is the greatest secret of the witches. Kifri at first has to erase her memory, but Coco wants to save her mother. She remembers of how the book was and can go after a new one. Kifri remembers that if erased, the memory of the girl will not have clues to reach the responsible ones that sold the book to a child. Fortunately, Coco remembers of the book and knows in which page the glyph of the forbidden magic was. Kifri says that with this, they can save Coco's mother. The protagonist begs to not erase her memory. She will do anything and wants to save her mother. Kifri says that now she will have to become a guardian of the secret. From now on, Coco will be a witch. Coco and Kifri are in a winged carriage and are arriving at his atelier. That will be Coco's school. Kifri says that planted seeds of sentinel thorns that will grow fast and act as a barrier around the house and Coco's mother. Thus, nobody will be affected by the forbidden magic. Coco cries with longing of her mother and does not have much what to do at the moment. Kifri consoles her and takes her inside. Kifri asks for her to dry the tears and then gives a look in the house and gives to her a water ball. Coco does not know how to use. Then appears another girl and says that is not difficult to use. Her name is Tesha and seems to be very gentle and attentive. Another appears also and says that can ignore if Tesha talked too much, and her name is Richie. The two are apprentices of Professor Kifri. She asks if Coco also is a student of Kifri, but she says that not and used magic for the first time yesterday. Tesha and Richie know who she is. The rumors are that an uninstructed used forbidden magic and did not have the memories erased, besides having been accepted as apprentice. Kifri appears and says that when the girls finish their morning tasks, they can study in their rooms. He gives the uniform to Coco to use and will explain this world. In the past, the magic was common through all corners of the world, combining specific forms of ink, but for being very common, many wars happened. Various heinous magic arose. Few sensible witches did not want more conflicts, then gathered themselves and erased the magic from the memory of the people, teaching it only to apprentices capable of guarding this secret. Since then, the witches made the people believe that magic is a power of few, because if the truth spreads, the world can come to be a land without law again. The forbidden magics are magics created in the era of the wars. Coco asks to teach all this to her because cannot do anything now. Kifri then takes her to a place on the lower floor and says that exist various forbidden magics, and any magic cast over the human body, in any circumstance, is forbidden magic. To transform or alter the age, teleportation without use of door or vehicles, manipulate thoughts or emotions, hurt people or cure them. Only one magic is exception of being forbidden, which is the magic that erases memories. Most of the magics are used in objects, like carriages or lamps. Kifri shows a magical window that teleports you to various corners. He uses it to show a lake where there is a building very far. The tower of books that preserves the knowledge. All the books of magic are duplicated there in the moment in which they are written. Coco wants to go there fast to find the illustrated book, but it will not be easy with a lot of sea monster in the water. The 4 librarians that protect the place apply tests to approve the worthy of entering in the tower, and Coco will need to prove herself to reach her objective. Kifri shows that there are many gentle magics to make the people happy, and would like that Coco learn them. Coco will share the room with Agate, and after Kifri asks for her to rest, that he will do other things. Kifri calls to someone and thanks for having allowed that Coco became his apprentice. Coco meets a roommate that arrives flying and lands. She has kind of few ideas and knows that Coco is the uninstructed. She says that because of Coco, her mother will never return to normal. Coco is determined to become a witch, but Agate shows that it will not be easy and only speaking will not result in nothing. Only after passing in the test is that they will recognize her as a witch. The dinner starts and only Agate does not eat with the people. But from the rest, all receive Coco with open arms. Besides Great Witch, Kifri is a master cook. On the next day, Coco begins her studies and learns that glyphs consist of 3 elements. The sigil that can be of fire, water, wind, or light. The type of magic is defined. The key symbols determine the format of the magic, size, and direction of it. And the circle that closes everything makes the manifestation of the magic. Coco will try to make a glyph, and Kifri encourages her a lot. She makes one, but gets ashamed to show something ugly. Kifri does not care because knows that this is the beginning and shows that if the circle is open, there is no way to form the magic. After, Kifri will leave for about 3 days to go to the Great Witch Auditorium. So Coco will learn with Agate and the other girls. Agate says that the real test will only begin for Coco. Kifri arrives at the place of the Great Auditorium and descends countless flights of stairs flying. Upon landing, someone pulls him to stop being distracted. And it is a beautiful young woman who complains of him not having used the stairs, and it makes time that he does not come to the bottom of the sea, the troublemaker of the Great Auditorium. Kifri speaks to Atelier that they are waters past. She says that she does not think so because she heard that he goes around messing again and knew that Kifri has a new apprentice. As always, the gossip runs loose and Atelier speaks that Coco may have relation with them, with the hats with brim. No one uses prohibited magic for 4 years, so she is an important clue. Kifri did not go there because of that. Coco still did not do the test. So officially, she is not apprentice of Kifri yet, because the moment is terrible and is very early for her. Atelier remembers that in this time of the year, the mountain range data that gives place to the test is at its maximum altitude. Kifri cannot allow this because it can cost the life of Coco. Said that, this girl goes to this mountain range I'm already seeing. Agate is fixing the portal window for Coco to go, and she says that the teacher is not there. Will she be able to do the test? Agate speaks that 1 hour or another she will have to do, and Agate passed in this test with 10 years of age. All have to do this to be apprentices. Coco accepts, and Agate tells that the first test is the permission of the king, where it is permitted only 3 utensils and can take magical supplies. The examined must arrive at the top of the mountain range data and bring the herb crown of the king that grows there. Agate gives a magical compass to Coco to guide herself in a floating magical drop. These are the items that Coco can have, and Agate opens the portal for her to go. Then Coco asks about the shoes, which are magical items that shine when joins the feet. This happened with the teacher Kifri and with Agate. Coco asks gently for Agate to lend, but after changes of idea and says that there is no why. Agate accepts and lends the shoes and pushes the girl to the place of the test and says that the test can be done only 1 time. If fails, Coco cannot be more an apprentice of Kifri and will need to leave the atelier. Coco is alone in the forest and is insecure, but needs to create courage and follow. She must use the compass and perceives that the twig inside it moves to the correct place. Coco follows, but already takes a fall right in the first step. The thing is not easy for Coco, tripping in everything that is root and branch. But she has to manage. If Agate did this with 10 years, Coco also can. She goes forward and finds a mountain range, but did not expect that it would be floating. Various spheres floating, and the compass points upward. So now Coco needs to use the shoes and realizes upon seeing a bird flying. She does not manage on the first try, of course, because has to understand how the magic works. Sees that the glyph is divided between the 2 feet, and then aligns the feet and manages to float. But like a baby that learns to walk, Coco still will have to fall a lot and try again. But she reached something grand, that is to fly, thus can arrive at the top quickly, but will be more difficult to do than to speak. So first has to get used to float low. Meanwhile, in the wizard auditorium where Kifri is, it is possible to see that he stays underwater. And the wizards there live in a big city sunk in the sea. It even seems that it is Atlantis. Kifri gives the registration form of Coco to the wizards, and Atelier says that if he and his apprentices lived in the great auditorium, Kifri would not have to travel such a long path for this. The great auditorium is the base of the wizards. Everything that they need is there. But Kifri only wants to be there to resolve something important and leave. Atelier perceives that he does not like the great auditorium and says to Kifri to take care of his apprentices. After all, child alone makes art, even more lot of them. Speaking of this, Coco is making a masterpiece now, trying to fly alone, and she manages to go up higher and balance herself. But arriving in one of the spheres, everything goes to the airs, and she almost falls and has to grab in vines. Then appears a little cute and long creature that scares Coco, and she falls in the water and gets all soaked. The little creature falls together and is a brush caterpillar that climbs onto the compass so as not to drown. Coco gets out of the lake and is all soaked and with the shoes full of mud. She goes to dry them and smudges the ink of the glyph. Now it is no longer possible to fly. Coco tries to draw over, but the magical ink that was in the bag spilled. Time passes and it is night at the atelier. Tesha asks where Coco is. It is late and it is almost time for dinner. Agate says that she went to do the test in the Dada mountain range. Tesha becomes worried because Coco just arrived at the atelier and Agate had to stop her. The bad idea says that all did the test before going to this atelier. If Coco is not capable of concluding this easy exam, she does not deserve to be an apprentice. Agate hates anyone who cannot do the things that she can, because there is nothing to gain with someone like that. Even more, her being a not-nose. Agate thinks that Coco will return before the test begins, because in this time of the year, the mountain range is floating at its peak. Agate's flying shoes will not take her high enough. Agate does not admit that an outsider who does not know the rules nor notion of danger enters the world of the wizards. It is possible to see that Agate did this for Coco to fail and leave. I tell you that she is very insensitive. Coco just lost a mother in a certain way, and she only wants to bring her back. The annoying girl who does not see that Coco just started and only needs time. Tesha is worried and cannot even eat right because she has a bad feeling. Meanwhile, Richie goes to repeat, and Tesha shouts that only she is worried about Coco. Richie says that there's nothing to do except wait for the teacher. Meanwhile, Coco tries tirelessly to reach the top climbing in a boat, but it does not work. She even tried to redo the flight glyph with a remainder of ink, but it did not work either. Everything is so soaked that it smudged the glyph. Coco then thinks of removing the shoes and drawing the glyph on the feet, but cannot do that. All magic drawn directly on the body is prohibited magic. Coco begins to think that agate is right, and she is not suited for this. Anyone can draw magic, but not all do it well. Coco depreciates herself and thinks that only people who do this in small and who have talent like agate and the others can be real witches. Coco thinks about what she can do and remembers seeing her mother working with the fabrics and teaching her the craft, helping the small and cute Coco to draw the line straight, and Coco learning to cut and falling from the chair, and remembering all the happy moments that she spent with her mother. When Kifri saw her ability and said that this indeed is magic, Coco knows that she has her own magic that she masters and thinks of a plan. She takes some sharp stones in the forest and chooses the most pointed, cuts a cloth and wraps it on the stone, and uses the ink that she has, and uses the water magic to wet a little, and uses the cape to draw a glyph that if it is with a fabric, she manages more easily because it is something that she learned with her mother and masters perfectly. Everything that her hands experience for the first time leaves them nervous. So Coco uses something familiar to her where her fingers are free and run at will. With this by the morning, Coco finishes her improvised glyph, as the key symbols determine the size, format, and direction of the magic. Coco made a very big one to have a lot of strength and only one key symbol. Now her wind magic will be strong, but she does not know if it will work. The brush caterpillar wants to go together with Coco, and it seems that the two are already partners. Coco holds herself and closes a circle, and the magic works, but she drew the direction downward and not upward. And now she runs over the water like a jet ski. The boat breaks with the force, but Coco holds on the mast and flies with her flying carpet. She thanks her mother for having taught Coco and cries. Now she follows the compass to get the king's crown herb. She finds a flower and tries to get it while flying, but cannot reach. So she tries one more time and again and again. The way it is will not work, and she almost hits the sphere. What will Coco have to do for this? She clears her mind, remembering her mother, and swears that she will save her, then flies lower and gets the king's crown herb. Kifri arrives at home and goes crazy upon discovering that Coco went to do the test in the Dada mountain range alone. Tesha cannot take it any more of worry as well. Kifri has to go to stop her because Coco is not accustomed with magic since she was born as all of them are. And if something happens to her, Kifri thinks that his clue for the brimmed hats is over. He is about to go save Coco, and she arrives with the king's crown herb, and Tesha runs to hug her and receive her. Coco shows to Agate that she managed a flower and passed in the first test. Agate, I think, is indignant that she did not fail, and she goes up and leaves. Kifri says that Coco cannot use magic without knowledge and lack of preparation. One carelessness, and she could have gone of F. Coco apologizes, and the teacher says that it was not necessary to prove anything because she is already his apprentice. Tesha gets all happy for Coco, and she obtained her which clothes as apprentice of Kifri, the official proof of what she is part of this world, and also a restriction to avoid that the magic be used in wrong way. The pointed hat watches her magic, and Coco cannot forget what she is protecting, and Kifri says to take good care of the clothes. Coco is dying of hunger, and Tesha takes her to eat, and Richie says that she has to take a bath as well. And on the other side, the brimmed hat who sold the book to Coco says that the seed sprouted. That one wanted Coco to become a witch, it seems. Something of wrong is not right, my good. At some time a craziness will happen. A beautiful outing in the magical city Karun turns a disaster with the girls trapped in a labyrinth with a dragon and Kifri the goat showing why he is the strongest wizard. Kifri takes his apprentices to Karun. The island in the river is the biggest city of wizards near where they live. The place is full of witches and wizards of all ages. The island arose being built by wizards around of a watchtower to protect the city from the mole serpents that live in the forest of mud, and thus the wizards gathered there. But Coco does not care and is enchanted with the magical city in front of her. Agate goes ahead to see some shops, and Kifri says for them to meet in the shop of magical items. Kifri asks if they are getting along well, and Coco says that she wanted to be more friend of her. However, the thing is not going very well. The group walks through the magical fair, and Coco, seeing all this, is like a dream becoming reality, and suddenly she sees that the brimmed hat is there, but soon it disappears. Kifri and his apprentices arrive at the shop Sword of Stars. Coco enters and sees a tree in the middle of the shop, which is strange. Then the old owner of the shop says that an apprentice being surprised with a tree of silver leaves is strange. How does she not know the basic? Kifri says that she just turned apprentice, of which the owner understands and asks forgiveness for the rudeness. The name of the man is Noah, and he and his grandson Tatar make all the magical materials that have there. They also extract magical ink in the concentration that they want. Now Noah will show how it is done for dear Coco. The girl goes up and sees Tatar working hard in the magical item. Noah takes a branch of the tree and places in a heated container with water. Then the blood of the tree mixes in the water. When the branch of silver leaves is black, it means that it is dead, and thus they remove this which is poisonous for the tree and also for human beings. After dissolving everything in hot water and removing the excess of water, it becomes the source of magic, the pure magical ink. This special ink does not have how to be extracted from another type of tree. It is prayed the legend that a long time ago a tree of silver leaves fell in love with a wizard and offers its branches as wands and its blood as ink. Coco is wanting a specific wand for her, so Noah gives her a bit of the magical ink to test the strokes and thus find the perfect wand. Coco becomes happy in another level. Tesha says that she likes light wands, said that Coco looks to the brimmed hat observing her and runs after it. Tesha and Richie go after the friend so she does not get lost. The girls get Agate to go until Coco, and the protagonist follows the brimmed hat in some crazy alleys, and she and the girls disappear in the middle of the smoke. The brush caterpillar loses them from sight, and Coco and the others are in another dimension. They are in a place all white that is nothing like current. Tesha says that there is not a window portal for them to be teletransported, so she flies to see how it is from above. Agate says that they were affected directly by the magic of teleportation, so it is forbidden magic. Said that appears a huge dragon, and the brimmed hat gives welcome to Coco in the world of magic. This reception is not very pleasant, I would say. The strange is that Coco is the hope for the brimmed hats. Meanwhile, Kifri returns to the shop and asks where his apprentice is. Noah says that he did not see them. They may have gotten bored and gone in another corner. Then Tatar says that they went running after a strange wizard that used a mask that looked like an eye. With this, Kifri already stays on alert. In the other world, Agate says for them to move away, little by little, and after they will run at her signal. Said and done, they run as if there is no tomorrow. The dragon pursues them, and Agate uses fire magic on the beast and buys time for everyone to escape. They enter in a dead-end path, and Tesha begins to get desperate. Not wanting to die in any way, Coco tries to calm her, but Tesha's look blames Coco. Then the friendship is already going downhill. The older apprentices will try to do something to open a path. Then Coco sees a glyph on the tower in the distance and tries to warn Agate, which disturbs her to draw the glyph. The girl becomes furious and says that Coco is an ignorant and only makes everything worse. It is always unintentionally that she ruins things, like petrifying her mother and putting all in the situation. So Agate wants that at least Coco does not disturb with her ignorance. Man, I went crazy with Agate, dude. Okay, that Coco disturbed there, but why talk about Coco's mother and all like that to her? She does not understand that Coco just entered in this world, is suffering with a mother in that state, and was not born in a magical world like the others. Hopefully there is a redemption for Agate, because what an annoying and unbearable girl. Richie opens a hole in the wall, and now they can leave the dead-end alley. All go ahead, and Coco is devastated and does not know what to do. Kifri tells that the brimmed hats are a group that hides the face with hats from the ancient era and use forbidden magic. He asks Tatar if he does not remember anything, and the boy really does not know. Then the brush caterpillar returns and will show the path to Kifri to go until where the girls disappeared. Kifri runs worried and hopes that they are all well. The girls thought that they escaped, but they are going in circles in the same place. They go to a covered place to protect themselves from the cold. Coco returns Tesha's hat to her and tries to calm the situation between them, then gives the cloak to Tesha so she does not feel cold and stays stuck to her. Coco says that the cloak makes her much more safe. Even with fear, she still feels on the outside that she is still a witch. For that, she wants Tesha to be well because she can help much more than Coco. With that, Tesha makes a cotton magic or something like that, and Coco is inside this fluffy and warm place that looks like a cloud. Tesha asks forgiveness for the look from before blaming Coco. Coco says that it was indeed her fault. However, Tesha says that this is not right. She took it out on Coco for having been afraid, being that she is apprenticed for more time and should protect the newcomer. Coco says that Tesha is protecting her indeed, with this incredible and cozy magic of hers. Tesha reveals that this is an original magic of hers. Since small, she dreamed of sleeping on top of a cloud. Tesha tried several things since then, but it is still not finished. She will send the magic to the Committee of Magic to be examined in hopes that one day everyone can use. Tesha returns Coco's cloak and says that they will only take them off when they become witches of truth. Agate and Richie enter in the fluffy cloud, and Agate says that to use this in an effective way, Tesha will have to use something with more mass to firm like a bed. Coco says that she saw a glyph of the magic that trapped them there, then shows to the girls. Agate suggests using fire magic against the dragon again, but Coco says that fire magic did nothing before and there is no way to defeat it. Then Coco has a plan that can be genial. She draws for the girls to understand. The plan to complete Tesha's dream. As this place is cold, the cloud of Tesha that is warm will help a lot. They will make the dragon approach a cloud, and thus the dragon will lie on the cloud mattress, stay quiet, and will not attack them anymore. All think this genial, but Agate thinks very childish to be true, and thinks carefully. After so much the girls talk, Agate accepts, and they begin to think in how to make a perfect cloud that does not fall apart. Then Agate thinks in sand from the destroyed walls. The more symbol keys, the finer the sand will be. Tesha has to think in a magic to gather the sand in the center and for it not to become very hard, while Agate thinks in a magic for the sand not to collapse. Coco looks how all draw the glyphs and notes that first they draw in the air, mentalizing, and then pass to the paper. Then Coco begins to train right there. Time goes passing and it goes getting dark, until now nothing of a good magic for the plan. Coco shows that she finally managed to make fire magic and stabilize. Richie goes running to warm herself, and Tesha becomes happy for the achievement of the friend. She tried a lot until it worked. Agate says that anyone would manage on the basis of repetition. Then she notes that this is a point to use repetition magic. The girls begin the plan and run to draw the glyphs on the ground and explode the buildings. The dragon notices the commotion and follows to where is the sand cloud. The plan was to use repetition magic on the wall-breaking magic and on the sand cloud magic to thus create a beautiful, fluffy cloud mattress. The dragon smells the cloud and feels the comfort, then decides to lie down and take a nap. Now they have a chance to go away. Tesha is very happy that her magic made someone happy, even more a dragon. Tesha says that it is the first time that someone becomes happy with their magic, and this sensation is great. On the other side, Kifri arrives where the girls disappeared, but he does not feel anything. Tatar says that the street there is paved. Then Kifri notes that the brush caterpillar is attracted by the smell of magical ink, and when he looks to the stones, a magic is activated. It is a portal to where the girls are. Tesha erased the glyph and the portal opened. The dragon now is agitated and destroys a part of the tower. Agate falls to her end, but Kifri saves his student. Kifri flies as high as he can and uses a magic of another level, clears the skies, and summons an immense water dragon that drives away the real dragon. Now everything resolved and the dragon is unconscious. Kifri sees that the girls are well, but Coco is missing. In some strange world, or in her unconscious, the brimmed hat says that he waited to sprout the seed that he planted in her, and the challenge of the time may have helped her to grow, and says that everything that Kifri cannot teach to her, he will. When the right time arrives, everything will be worth it. Coco wakes up in the real world together with the others and a Professor Kifri. She cries and asks forgiveness for everything. Kifri knows of everything that happened and says that it was thanks to Coco that all were saved. Because an idea is as important for magic as the handling of a pen. Noor Noah arrives and sees that the confusion was made by forbidden magic, with a mixture of ink different. Kifri asks the old man to not report anything to the Council of Magical Security. Noor Noah says that it is the duty of the wizards to report the use of forbidden magic. But Kifri, in a tone of threat, says that it is not to tell anyone. My good, if you like, leave your like, subscribe, activate the little bell, share the video, and see the description for more recaps. Thanks for the support, as always, and bye.